All of a sudden I hear a gun click behind my head, and it was my brother. I ended up getting charged for armed robbery, and I was facing 7 to 25 years in prison. The only thing that saved me was telling the truth. After I got my anklet cut off, I was gone. Left everything, everyone. I felt like I lost my identity several times over in life.
What message would you have for anyone that's wanting to recreate their identity but just is having a hard time understanding, like, what does that mean? Hey guys, what's going on? It is Andy Elliott. Look, I was just having a conversation with someone earlier today about what are the 3 things that'll change someone's life. I said perspective, identity, okay? And identity is huge. Perspective's huge, and belief. And this man that I'm here with today, his name is Michael Williams. Mike Williams. He's a very good friend of mine. He is a coach, a life coach. He is a identity coach. And he has not only went through some stuff in his life that has allowed him to change his identity probably 1,000 times. So you're a master at this. But now you help men, women all around the world also do it. He has a coaching company called Alpha Coaching. They're crushing and killing it. He's all the way down here from Australia. But the topic that I want to talk about today is identity. Because I'm going to tell you this, you can't become something you don't believe you are. And a lot of people in the world are running around, and I believe that they don't know who they are. And the first person they run into, they tell them who they are, and they think they're that person. And so nobody really knows who they are. And so if you're watching me, you know that I'm huge into sales, I'm huge into leadership, and I'm going to tell you, if you're not for sure who you are, you're not going to go far in life, okay? So I got my man Mike. He's a master at it. He kills it. Mike, I want you to tell a little bit of your journey and your story today.
Absolutely.
But also I want you to drop some big bombs, value-added content that'll smoke their brain on how you help reprogram people's identities, alter their identity. Because until you alter your identity, you can't see the world differently. Your perspective will never change. And I just want you to let them rip. Let's rip a coaching session, but I need you to share your journey a little bit because it's actually really cool. True comeback kid right here, just like me, and that's why I love him. So, Mike, thank you for being here. And most importantly, let's change some people's lives. 95% of the world is lost. They're ready to roll, and most people who are lost don't know they're lost. Let's rip into it, and I want people to understand your journey and really understand what you do for a living and how you help people.
Absolutely. So, first off, I'm here from Trinidad and Tobago, actually.
Trinidad, I love it.
I lived there half the year, Florida half the year.
Okay.
And as I said, I've gone through so many life changes and so many ups and downs that I used to think it was an embarrassment, that I thought that nobody wanted to be around me, nobody wanted to hear my story.
I've been there. I love that. That's huge. I'm glad you brought that up. Most people never say that.
And so that lone wolf concept of I went dark, I went bad intentions, full-fledged, because I felt like I lost my identity several times over in life.
Yeah.
And I mean by that, so just I started off, I'm from Maryland originally. I played Division I football and lacrosse in high school.
Yeah, big time athlete.
That was my whole life. And my junior year of high school, I blew my entire left knee out. And then the doctor told me I'd never run straight again in my life. And in 4.5 months, I recovered myself, got my Division I scholarship after that. And I was the first Division I lacrosse team in the state of Florida at Jacksonville University.
Good job, dude. It's amazing.
And, so I thought life was going the way I wanted. I was the big man on campus. I was actually in the front page of the school newspaper for saving 2 people's lives in the ocean.
Wow.
And I came home for spring break. And during box jumps with my trainer, I blacked out in midair. And I woke up in the hospital and found that I had 2 ruptured discs in my neck, and I couldn't play lacrosse anymore.
Oh, wow.
So I had to go back to college and tell my coach, first year Division I, NCAA, etc., and they pulled my scholarship. So I more or less burned my life to the ground after that.
Well, that's what you thought.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I lost my identity.
Yeah, because it didn't go the way you wanted.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people watching this right now, maybe their life didn't go the way they wanted. There was an unexpected turn. And sometimes that's just part of the journey where God's got to get you to where you're supposed to go.
Couldn't agree
You know,
more.
sometimes the worst thing that ever happened to you ends up being like the best thing that ever happened to you, right? And so,
Right.
so this is your second time you're injured, and then obviously it's like your dreams fade,
Yep.
and you're obviously very athletic, right? You've always been very athletic. If anybody goes and checks out his Instagram, which I'll put it on the screen, extremely athletic, unbelievable. Again, like this is just something that has always, it seems like fitness has been like a pillar of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love that about you. And
It's
so
been my savior. It's been my fallback. It's been what kept me
Here.
sane.
yeah.
It
People say fitness, saved my life, and a lot of people don't understand that. There's only one way to reprogram truly your neurosystem, and that is by being consistent in the gym. I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. It saved my life. Yeah.
And so every pitfall, I'll say, in life,
Yeah.
I always started back first with the fitness.
Yes. I love it.
And so I find that, yes, fitness is important and should be your most important. Mm-hmm. It's not the only aspect of life.
No.
And you can't stop there. Mm-hmm. And that's really where my journey branched off in the next
Okay.
direction.
Let's go there.
So I came back to Maryland, lost my scholarship. I said, you know what? I don't know who I am anymore, but I need to make money. And I went back to selling drugs. I ended up getting charged for armed robbery, and I was facing 7 to 25 years in prison.
Before we get into that, I want to ask you one question. Was you maybe running with some bad influence?
100%.
I want everybody to think about this for a minute, okay? And I'm in the mentor space. You're in the mentor space. The reason why we ended up in the mentor space is because we realized early on in life, if we were around better people, we'd have made better decisions.
For sure.
And I'm going to tell you this, if you're around bad influence, you're going to be a bad person. I don't care.
Yep.
Okay? If you're around good influence, you're going to be a good person. You're going to do good things. That's the way it works. And so you're not a bad person. And a lot of people think that they're bad. They're not. They're around bad influence. And I was a good person. I was around bad influence, and I ended up getting in trouble as well. And I'm going to tell you, I watch this happen all the time. But again, that was yet another part of your journey.
Absolutely.
That needed to happen. But now that you know that, you're reaching out to other people in the world. You're like, dude, make sure you're around the right people. And so that happened 7 to 25 years. So what happens?
To be honest, the only thing that saved me was telling the truth.
I love that.
And
Saved my
as
life
hard as
too.
it was, that kept me from doing that serious time. And I got knocked down to the time served I was in waiting, and then 2 years on house arrest.
Okay.
So in those 2 years, a spark in me happened, and I started developing my first software. And it was long before Omnicare and they switched over to electronic healthcare.
Okay.
I had developed the first fitness, nutrition, and rehab software.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up, so when I got out, let me backpedal a little. When I got out, my dad at the time was CTO of a IT company. And he said, look, you have 2 choices. You're either going to the military or you're going to come work for me.
Okay.
So I chose to go work for him, learn some skill, make some money, because I had to pay off my anklet. And a guy that worked for my dad, friend Randy, he was one of the top hackers in the world.
Wow.
And I approached him with this idea of this fitness and nutrition software that I had written out on a white printer paper with blue pen, every slide, every box, what it does, where it goes, what happens next. Like real early on
Yeah.
app development.
Yeah.
And I ended up forming an entire board of directors. I had a chiropractor working for me full time. I had mathematicians doing the algorithms on the back end. we started a nonprofit programming company in India for underprivileged boys.
Wow.
They were the ones writing my code. And so at 19, with the anklet on, I felt like I was on top of the world. Because I'd built something
Yep.
that I was truly passionate about.
Yeah.
And January 10th, that night, I was out building a fire, right? So I could only go 20 feet from my back door. Well, so my best friend became building fires every night. And that was like my reflection time, my thought process. And well, so I was sitting there, lit the fire, and I lit a joint. And all of a sudden I hear a gun click behind my head. And it was my brother who had snuck out. He was a police officer for the Pentagon. And he said, Mike, put the joint, put it out. I said, well, you're going to have to sit down or shoot me because I'm not putting it out. There's nothing else anyone could do to me. Sit here and learn who I am and why this doesn't change who I am. And that night, I sat with him for 3 hours, asked him every question I've ever wanted to ask somebody, what he thought about me as his brother, where he thought I was going, everything. And the next morning, I left for work. My dad and I had a conference with, semi-annual conference with the whole company. And right before the opening speech, we get a call. My dad gets called out of the room. And at the time, my uncle had been in the hospital and just, thinking, oh, something happened with my uncle. Instead of my dad coming back in, the boss of the company came out and called me over. And all I saw was my dad drop to the ground. And my brother had died. He ran off the road leaving work that night. And to this day, I still don't know the truth, other than what I know as I know. And he was with 2 friends in the car. They both lived, no scratch, no nothing. And at 23 years old, he had died. Wow. So that was like my, blew my whole world apart. So
That's
for that
insane.
time of my life, I was so high on, I'm building the software. I've got this, business. And in a flash, I stopped thinking all about that. I couldn't even put thoughts together. And I actually, 2 days after I got my anklet cut off, I moved to Florida and walked away from everything. So.
Sorry about your brother, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I tell everyone, so if I didn't get that conversation, that closure, I guess, as people call it, I don't know what actually happened that night or that morning, but to me, that was my first spark in life. Was when he died, I knew I had to become something. And I didn't know what it was, but I also couldn't watch my mom and dad destroy their lives. Again, being on house arrest, you're forced to be there. Remember, he worked for the Pentagon, so I had hundreds of police officers coming in and out of the house.
Wow.
They said it was the largest funeral they'd ever seen.
Wow.
And watching my mom and dad secretly go to the graveyard 8, 9, 10 times a day. And all I could get was people come and say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't escape. So that, after I got my anklet cut off, I was gone. I left everything, everyone, built my identity over again.
Wow.
So my cousin offered me a job in his restaurant and sleep on his blow-up couch in his living room. I hadn't seen him in 15 years, but he was the one that was calling me after my brother died and said, look, come out here and, get away.
Yeah.
Fast forward a year, I was offered by that same owner to open my first restaurant as a chef.
Wow.
So again, I thought I found a calling. I thought I found, my next career. Without going to school, without having the credentials that everybody talks about. But it's because I went all in with everything I've ever done.
I love that.
So fast forward, that same owner ended up using my background against me to not pay me the 18% they owed me.
Wow.
So then again, I went back to selling drugs. I knew I needed money, and right back, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd, right? Being around the wrong people, and I was okay with not having a purpose or a reason for being around them. And fast forward a little bit, I was on and off bartending. Anything I could, dock building roofs, you name it. I did sales, I did direct, door to door. I did any and everything I could, chasing money. And I forgot about who I was or what I wanted to do or why I had built that software in the first place.
Yeah.
I guess it was 6 years into me being in Florida. I got arrested again for selling drugs. I did 6 months time, and I got out and had met this, I call him, he's a mad scientist. Dreadlocks, 50-year-old dude, walk around, no shoes, shirt off. We were building our own wooden surfboards by hand.
This is in Florida?
Yeah. And then comes this machine in his garage. And it happened to be a flying suit. Like, this guy was legitimately building a flying suit in his garage. And he asked me to help fabricate and, be a part of it. So that turned into him and I. We almost had the first tow-by-boat hang gliding company in the world.
Wow.
We built our own boat, our own winch, our own everything. And so legally, you can't have or take money on the water without being a licensed captain. So I then went and got my captain's license. The day after I got my license, he died. Hang gliding, training someone behind my back, thinking I was going to take the company from him.
That is crazy.
And so the investor in our company, or in that company, is now my girlfriend. I spent so much time with her. She saw me and, I took her up 3,000 feet in the air. My mom, dad, it was, I was at one point living life, what everyone else thought. But inside I had no substance. I at one point was chasing death.
Yeah.
Drinking out myself every day. It literally I was the furthest drift you could possibly be from who I really was, other than laughing and having a good time. And so to fast forward, I've been with Sherry now 7 years.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's
Beautiful, amazing woman.
She's been that one woman in my life that refused to let me go backwards.
It's huge.
And she's also been the only woman that I fought for. Like, to be with and not fought that person.
Yeah.
To be right.
Yeah. Like you just love her to death.
Everything. And
how old are you now, Mike?
I'm 34.
Okay, 34 years old. Crazy journey, right? fitness a pillar of your life, always found your way back to it when you're resetting these identities,
Yeah.
right, as a part of it. Through the journey, obviously you've been forged
Absolutely.
by the fire, right? And so it's created this man today. Tell us who you are today.
I'm
If someone was to ask, what do you do? Okay, and what does your life look like right now?
in a short sentence, I help men or people stop drifting, and I've systemized that.
I love that. Is that your coaching program?
Yes.
I love that. And what does your life look like? You got your wife, or your girlfriend, but
Yeah.
I call her your wife.
Yeah.
She lives in Trinidad. You guys
Yeah.
live in Trinidad, half the year in Florida.
Correct.
What are you guys working on now outside of coaching? What do you guys do?
So we own a event venue space in Trinidad.
Okay.
We do weddings, corporate events, trying to get you guys to come
Yeah.
and do,
Yeah.
you know, the
I love
next
that.
retreats. And I'm a boat captain as well down there.
So you still love the water?
I love it.
Okay.
It was on my way out of that street life. And it allowed me to be seen by a different group of people
Yep.
in a different light.
Yep. I love that.
And so I went all in, and since we've had 3 startup companies, Sherry and I, anything from NFT projects off of her daughter's artwork to a CBD company, we were manufacturing our own products,
Yep.
to now realizing that we weren't helping anyone but ourselves, nor were we inspiring anyone else to be around us. It was just about, again, the money.
Yep.
And both of us, in self-development and getting back in shape and working on us, realized that that wasn't the vehicle.
Yep.
So to switch to the event venue, so her property, it's a 128-year-old property that we revamped into an event venue space, and really allowing us to have that, not the high ticket
Yeah.
mindset, but truly have value for people and not just a product.
To create transformation.
Correct.
So you built a space to create transformation with people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's what's changed your life, right? And so obviously your message is you can come back from anything.
100%.
And then obviously your message is sometimes, no matter what you do, things just don't work out. And when they do, you got to recreate your identity again. You got to reinvent again. And sometimes you have a dream, and it doesn't mean that there's not another dream ahead, right? And just because something doesn't work out doesn't mean that it doesn't work out. It just means that it just wasn't meant to happen. There's something else waiting. Am I right?
Absolutely.
And what message would you have for anyone, especially like people, because that's what you do for a living, is help change your life, that's wanting to recreate their identity but just is having a hard time understanding, like, what does that mean?
So the best way I can answer that is, I think the term is, if you see the world through a broken lens because of your past traumas, etc., your mess ups, life, I never realized you could take those off.
I love that.
And when I took the broken lens off, it allowed me to seek out the right mentors, to go in on me.
Yeah. You kind of value yourself again.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, and I want you to think about that. Like, how many people, right, something happens and you feel embarrassed. In the beginning, you started this with, like, I was embarrassed, and I didn't think anybody would accept me because of the things that I had done. And I think that that's one of the devil's favorite tools is shame. Yeah, shame. And, obviously, just so you guys are aware, Mike is a believer, loves God, and he, just like all of you and me, has been forgiven, and he's had grace. But sometimes the devil doesn't want you to feel like you have any grace. He wants you to feel like, dude, listen to me. What you did, there's no way you can come back from that. And so you're never defined by your last mistake. And if you notice, Mike, and what I love is that his vulnerability and sharing, and like you talking about your story, most people don't want to tell the bad. They want to tell the highlight reel. You know, they want to talk about the $1 million payday.
Right.
Guys, he's got a great life. He's very successful now. They have a very good business. They are crushing it. And notice he hadn't talked about any of that at one time, because during the journey of chasing money, he's lost himself along the way. And so now he's like, look, if you know who you are, the right life is going to show up. And by the way, you don't chase that life, you attract it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I think that's the thing, the message here is that the reason why you want to have mentorship, why you help people find their identity, is because you'll never attract that life until you really understand that it is you
Absolutely.
that's been holding you back your whole life. You know, it's not anyone else. No one else is holding you back. Every time you had to look in the mirror and say, all right, let's go do this again. I mean, winners live where quitters quit. Most quitters, they just never see their life. And there's a saying I always tell people, like, if you don't quit, you'll win eventually. Like you will. Like here you are 34 years old and you are winning. But, you know, look, how to go to jail, right? How to do this, how to go back to jail. It's like, but you know what? There's a thing to look at here, which is why I love the era that we live in and what we're sharing right now, is that bad influence keeps popping up. And every time that there's a wreck in your life, you were trying to reach out to someone for help. And instead of them giving you a life raft for good, they gave you a life raft for bad. And so, like, I think whenever someone goes through something, the best thing they can do is get their hands on someone good.
100%.
Okay? Because, you know, pain is like the greatest thing to change someone's life. It really is. So if someone's on the scale, like, yeah, I'm going through a lot of pain, you're like, dude, you're like the perfect person. You're like in the perfect, you know, situation. Like when you're on rock bottom, if somebody's watching this, and they don't even have to be rock bottom, like financially. Like I know a lot of people right now, I mean, they make millions of dollars a year and they hate themselves. They really do. They've burned everything to the ground. They're bad to themselves. They're not proud of themselves. And their identities are messed up. And then there's people that, you know, tried something, it didn't work, and then their identities are messed up. It has nothing to do rebuilding an identity with financial money.
No.
It has to do with looking into the mirror and like seeing like, hey man, like, man, I'm worth it. Like God wants me to have a great life. Man, he's actually going to use me. Like he's going to use someone like me that's broken, that made all these mistakes, that went to jail twice, that sold drugs, that did these things, that nothing ever worked out, to rise me now so he can get the credit.
Yeah.
And I think this is a time right now where if you're watching this, and I mean this, guys, if you're watching this and you're like, man, you know, I need someone that I can talk to. I need someone that I can reach out to. Guys, I'm going to put Mike's Instagram on here, okay? Number one, I love watching your Instagram. Your content's fire. It's awesome. I love seeing how you care about your girl. You know, I love seeing what you stand for as a man. I love seeing how much you've changed. I know your brother would be really proud of you. I know he's proud of you already and he's watching you. I know your dad's proud of you. I know your mom's proud of you. But really, you're proud of you. I think that's it. And I want to tell you guys something. This is super important. I love my wife to death, and I want to tell you something. I know you love your girl to death. Your wife could never be proud of you if you're not proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the biggest thing. And so if you're watching this and you're like, man, dude, like I gotta start working on me. Like if I want everything to change, just like it changed for Mike, Mike always went back to the things like, I need to change. And he had this pattern and cycle of like changing in a bad way. You would go really good, something would happen, and then you revert back to bad.
Yeah.
Because it would make you think like, I'm unworthy. And then so you'd fall back down to these people. But the second that something bad happened and you were doing the right thing and you said, no, dude, like I'm going to attract the good this time. You literally broke the pattern in your life. Like you broke the bloodline.
Absolutely.
Okay. And at that day, then you and your girl got together. You're 7 years in. You're 34 years old. Dude, like life has done a 360. You're helping other people now. You created a place for lives to transform. You're coaching people online. So you guys can reach out to Mike on Instagram, number one. Shoot him a DM. Guys, go give him a follow. Shoot him a DM. Ask him any question you want. He's really great. He loves helping people. I always say what you can overcome in your life, you're qualified to help someone else overcome in their life. And I know this, we could be here for like 20 hours, but like he has a lot of things that he's overcome in his life. Go check out his content. But really what I love is who you are now. Most people, they only talk about who they are today, and they never share their struggle. They never share adversity. They never share what they did wrong. They don't share any of that stuff because people are like, man, I don't want to share that stuff. Nobody will like me. No, when you share that stuff, it actually makes people say, hey, me too. Like, dude, when you said a lot of the things that you said, I'm looking at me, I'm like, dude, I went through that same stuff. And now I can relate with you. And most people, they go out on social media and now they tell everybody the highlight reel.
Right.
Like I said, the $1 million payday, you know, where they're at now in life. And people are like, so what? Like, I can't relate with you. But hearing all your broken stories right now, maybe someone's watching this and they've lost someone. Okay? You know, maybe, I'm just saying this, maybe you got some unresolved stuff with yourself that you're like, man, how do I get through this? I'm stuck. I'm frustrated. You guys shoot Mike a DM. I promise you, man, one of the most amazing guys in the world. And down in the description box below, Mike has a bunch of different coaching that people can do. You guys can click on that stuff and you're good. Or you guys can go just straight to Instagram, which you guys see on the video right now. And you guys can shoot him a DM. And then, you know, Mike, I think you set up a call with people and you'll kind of, you know, find out what's going on in their life. And he's one of the most genuine people I've ever met. And I love meeting people that are unique. I love finding people who stand out. You know what I'm saying? And I love the fact, you know how I am about fitness, right? Like, I love the fact that you go back to fitness and not so you can stay in great shape. I always tell people, people are like, oh, I understand why you go to the gym because you want to look good. And I'm like, yeah, no, I do want to look good. But there's so much trauma and memories and things that I've gone through that I would not be able to live the life that I have today. And my brain wouldn't be able to move past that stuff if I didn't constantly rebuild my mind in the gym.
Absolutely.
And that's the saying that the gym saved my life, the gym saved my mind. And so you guys can reach out to Mike. He's amazing, okay? You guys see his Instagram handle. I think it's the best way to get a hold of you. He's from Trinidad, but he travels all the world. He's half the time in the United States, half the time there. So, man, I'm proud of you, brother. And I know you and your wife are building something really big, and I know that there's someone that's watching this today that's like, man, dude, like I was waiting, you know, for God to give me someone to reach out to connect with, for me to go to my next level. And I know that's you. So I'm proud of you, man. Guys, we love you. Make sure you guys go follow him on Instagram, shoot him a DM. And he's told you some of his crazy journey. I love not hearing all the good about people. I love hearing, by the way, this is the good, hearing the journey, the struggle along the way, because it makes me really respect who you are today. And then even when I go to talk to you, I'm like, dude, this guy understands me. Like, you get it. Like, you can feel my pain because you've been through that pain. And if you've hit that pain line, or if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're ready to recreate your identity, reach out to Mike. I promise you, it'll all work out. So I love you guys. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you guys in the next video.